Do you affirm that the testimony you are about to provide before this committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. Please be seated, and you may now deliver your statement. Betrayal cuts deeper than any physical wound. In this case, it is not only about the man whose life was taken, it is about the truth that was buried with him. The death of Charlie Kirk has been framed, dissected, and reconstructed into a narrative that may never have reflected reality. The FBI insists it possesses certainty. Prosecutors maintain they have their suspect. Yet beneath the commanding voices of power, the evidence whispers a different story, one riddled with contradictions, disputed digital footprints, and eyewitness accounts that were quietly set aside. If Tyler Robinson is not the shooter, then we are witnessing one of the gravest miscarriages of justice in recent memory. And if the very institutions we trust have chosen expedience over truth, then this betrayal extends beyond one man. It is a betrayal of us all. The case has erupted into public consciousness, forcing long-buried secrets into the light. Piece by piece, we will uncover them. If you wish to follow each turn in this relentless pursuit of truth, stay with us, because what comes next will challenge everything you thought you knew. Betrayal rarely comes from strangers. It emerges from those we trust most, the allies we rely upon, the institutions sworn to protect us. In the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, the narrative that surfaced was simple, convenient, and powerful. Tyler Robinson, they said, was the shooter. Case closed. But was it truly that simple? Or was Robinson a convenient scapegoat, a name easily attached to a tragedy that demanded swift resolution? From the beginning, cracks appeared in the story. Evidence was disputed. Digital trails did not align. Witnesses claimed to have seen the shooter walking home, accounts that never reached the nightly broadcasts. And yet, despite these inconsistencies, the machinery of prosecution pressed forward. So we must ask, did those sworn to pursue justice betray both Charlie Kirk and Tyler Robinson by choosing speed over truth? If Robinson is innocent, then his arrest was not justice. It was sacrifice. And this betrayal goes beyond individuals. It strikes at the very core of our beliefs about fairness, truth, and the responsibilities of those who wear badges and hold titles. Because if the wrong man stands accused, then Kirk has been denied justice, and Robinson has been denied his freedom. That is betrayal not only of men, but of the principles we claim to uphold. The foundation of every case is evidence. But when the evidence itself fractures under scrutiny, the pursuit of justice falters. Prosecutors relied heavily on digital messages, words allegedly typed by Robinson on Discord. They claimed he confessed online. They claimed the proof was undeniable. Yet the company itself challenged those claims, stating clearly, those messages did not originate from Robinson's account. Instead, they appeared to be second-hand retellings, conversations among friends and roommates passing along fragments of a supposed note. That is not a confession, that is hearsay. Yet this distinction was blurred in the courtroom. The digital trail was itself riddled with contradictions. Timestamps clashed with Robinson's alleged movements. Gaps in online activity left more questions than answers. Was Robinson even online at the times prosecutors claimed? Or were others filling in the blanks, crafting a story around him rather than about him? Meanwhile, eyewitnesses reported seeing someone resembling the shooter walking home on foot. Their voices were never centered in the investigation. They were quietly drowned out by a digital footprint already in dispute. When confessions crumble, when timelines fracture, when witnesses are silenced, we must ask, is this truly evidence, or is it a fragile scaffolding constructed to uphold a narrative too weak to stand on its own? Beyond digital traces lies forensic science, the anchor of truth in any courtroom. DNA, fingerprints, ballistics, These are meant to secure guilt or open the door to doubt. But in Robinson's case, even these anchors are unstable. Ballistics evidence linked a weapon to the scene, yet questions immediately arose. When was the weapon collected? How was it stored? Was the chain of custody intact? A single misstep in this process can transform certainty into doubt. And here, doubt follows every detail. DNA evidence was presented as a linchpin, yet closer examination revealed it was partial, inconclusive, and mixed with unidentified profiles. Instead of clarity, it brought more confusion. If science is meant to sharpen the picture, why is the image here so blurred? In court, these cracks became battlegrounds. Robinson's defense argued the evidence was incomplete, perhaps even mishandled. Motions were filed, alleging manipulated records, calling for transparency. Were the tests rushed? Were the results overstated? Or were they misinterpreted in the haste for quick resolution? The distinction between fact and speculation blurred, and Robinson's fate now hangs in that space of uncertainty. Behind the headlines are lives. Charlie Kirk was more than a public figure. He was still working, still speaking, still fighting for causes he believed in until his last days. He left behind grieving family, friends replaying their final conversations, and a community forever changed. His absence is not measured in news cycles. It is measured in empty chairs, missed milestones, and silences where his voice once rang. Tyler Robinson's story runs in the opposite direction. Some argue he was radicalized. Others suggest he was swept into a narrative crafted by others, vulnerable, or chosen as a scapegoat. Whatever the truth, his identity is now bound to a case that may not reflect who he really is. Communities, too, bear the weight. Utah Valley University, once a campus of ambition, now lives under the shadow of vigils and whispered suspicions. Politically, the nation has been shaken. When a prominent figure is lost so publicly, trust fractures, divisions widen, and safety feels more fragile than ever. This case has also drawn focus to deeper currents of power and influence. At the heart of the storm lies the uneasy relationship between the FBI and organizations like the Anti-Defamation League. Their alliance was framed as a safeguard against extremism. Yet when Kirk's name and his organization appeared in reports branding him as dangerous, questions arose. Were these labels responsibly applied or politically motivated? Federal agencies then distanced themselves from those very reports, as though ties once firm had become too heavy to maintain. Why now? Why in the middle of a case where one man's innocence and another man's legacy hang in balance? Was this pursuit of truth or preservation of reputation? For many, this trial has grown beyond Robinson or Kirk. It now reflects a broader distrust in institutions. Each time evidence is questioned, each time motives appear political, each time transparency fails, that distrust deepens. What began as an act of violence has become a symbol of fractured trust, contested narratives, and the widening gulf between the people and the powers meant to serve them. Long before a jury rules, the public renders judgment. Supporters of Robinson flood social media with claims he is a scapegoat, citing disputed evidence and ignored witnesses. Opponents insist the case is clear-cut, viewing every challenge as a distraction. Between them lies the most dangerous force of all, misinformation. Rumors become headlines, half-truths become certainties. And amid this noise, mourning families and fractured communities struggle to be heard. This is the court of public opinion, loud, divided, relentless. It unfolds not in courtrooms, but in hashtags, feeds, and viral videos, shaping perceptions before facts are weighed. Yet the legal process continues. Upcoming hearings will revisit the very foundation of evidence. Was it gathered properly? Was it interpreted fairly? Was it ever enough to begin with? Defense attorneys prepare to press harder on the Discord controversy, on forensic discrepancies, on the unanswered question of whether Robinson acted alone or if unseen forces placed him at the center of a larger scheme. What we know is this: the story is far from over. With every hearing, new details will either strengthen the case or unravel it further. Until those answers are given, Robinson's innocence and Kirk's legacy remain in limbo, suspended in the balance. In the end, this case is about more than institutions and evidence. It is about people, families torn apart, communities shaken, a nation forced to confront the fragility of its justice system. The truth, as fragile as glass, rests in the hands of those who must decide whether to protect it or bury it. For Charlie Kirk's family, and for Tyler Robinson's future, the stakes could not be higher. We owe it to the victims, to their families, and to justice itself not to turn away. Silence deepens the wound. Distraction delays the truth. What matters now is vigilance, ensuring every fact is examined, every inconsistency addressed, and every life touched by this tragedy honored with honesty. Stay with us as this case unfolds. Subscribe, share, and keep asking the questions others may avoid. Justice cannot survive in shadows. Justice demands truth.